How do I tell the people who prayed me out of Nigeria that I am drowning in the dream they sold me?
Rain followed Maris to the airport, as if it wanted to make sure she remembered where she was coming from. It fell hard and steady, soaking the ground outside the terminal and turning the glass walls into blurry mirrors. Nigeria was saying goodbye in its own dramatic way. Loud, emotional, impossible to ignore. Maris stood still, holding her passport tightly, feeling the weight of the moment settle in her chest. She was leaving, not for a visit, not for a holiday. She was leaving with purpose, with expectations, with the kind of dreams that made families gather and speak in big words. Her mother stood close, clutching a small bottle of anointing oil. That bottle had followed Maris through exams, sickness, and long nights of prayer. Now it was here again, marking her forehead, sealing her fate.
I will.
Around them, her uncles spoke proudly. They spoke loudly. They spoke as if their words alone could protect her from everything she did not yet understand. They called her the family's light. They called her the ambassador to the West. And just like that, before she even boarded the plane, Maris became a symbol instead of a person. No one spoke about fear. No one spoke about failure. No one spoke about what happened if things did not work out. The story had already been written for her, and all she had to do was live up to it. When she finally walked away toward the departure gate, she did not turn back. She knew if she did, the strength holding her together would break. Some journeys had to begin without looking behind. The UK greeted her with silence and cold. Not the loud, familiar chaos of Nigeria, not the warm noise of voices and engines and life. This was a different kind of world, orderly, distant, and sharp. The cold entered her body before she even understood it. It slipped through her clothes and settled in her bones like it planned to stay. Maris dragged her 2 suitcases across polished floors, following signs and instructions. On the train, she watched the landscape pass by. Rows of identical houses, leafless trees, grey skies that felt permanent. She thought of the stories she had seen online. Bright photos, smiling faces, captions filled with gratitude and soft bragging. This place looked nothing like that. Her accommodation was small, smaller than she had imagined, smaller than the life she believed she was stepping into. A single bed, a narrow desk, a window facing a brick wall that offered no view, no escape. Still, she told herself this was only the beginning. All beginnings were uncomfortable. That night, she posted a picture online. A careful smile, good lighting, a hopeful caption. The world back home responded immediately. Congratulations poured in. Pride followed. Expectations settled quietly into place. No one could see the silence of her room. No one could feel the cold creeping in. Reality arrived slowly, then all at once. The sky remained grey. Days passed without sunlight. The wind grew more aggressive, less forgiving. Maris learned that coats were not fashion items here. They were survival tools. Ambition alone could not pay her international tuition fees. Dreams could not negotiate rent. Her student visa allowed only 20 hours of work per week, but her bills did not care about rules. So she worked. She took warehouse shifts, long hours on her feet, moving boxes, scanning items, racing against conveyor belts that never seemed to slow down. Her body learned new aches, her hands learned new blisters. On other days, she cleaned offices and homes, empty buildings in the early mornings, other people's messes, the quiet kind of work that left her alone with her thoughts. She worked nights, she attended lectures half a week. Sleep became something she negotiated with, never something she enjoyed. She lived on energy drinks and determination, on pasta cooked in bulk and eaten without excitement. Her bank app became an enemy she checked too often. The balance rarely changed. It stayed low, teasing her, reminding her that survival was a daily decision. Still, she told herself it would be worth it. that struggle was part of the process, that everyone who succeeded abroad had paid this price. Loneliness did not arrive loudly, it crept in gently. She missed Nigeria in ways she did not expect. She missed being seen, she missed belonging, but she said nothing. To speak of struggle would break the illusion,
Penny, my dear.
and the illusion
Wonderful.
mattered
Your
to her
studies are going
family,
well, eh?
to her
Yes,
pride,
Uncle. Everything
to
is
the
fine.
version of herself that needed this journey to mean something. So she smiled on video calls. She spoke about school. She said work was fine. She said she was grateful. She did not speak about fear or the way cold nights made her feel smaller. Then the messages arrived. They arrived quietly through WhatsApp notifications that buzzed against her tired body. Mary sat on her bed after a long shift, still wearing her uniform, too exhausted to move. The family group chat was active. Private messages followed. She opened the first one. A request. Polite, familiar, heavy. Another message came. Then another. Small amounts, they said. Nothing serious, just help. But Maris knew what those numbers meant. She knew how many hours of work they represented, how many meals they would erase, how close they would push her to zero. Her chest tightened as guilt settled in its usual place. She stared at her phone, realizing something important. Abroad had followed her home, and it was asking for proof.